Well, how are we doing, Beatstar players? This is iRoasted505 here, and welcome back to another Beatstar editorial. Today is something I wanted to do for a long time, and it's finally time to do so. It is the top 10 best standard Beatstar extremes. This was a long list to make, and you can see why it took longer than the worst list, because while the worst one I knew right out the gate, the best ones definitely needed a lot of time to think things over. But after all this, I finally conducted my 10 favorite extremes. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Now, before we begin, a few ground rules to cover first. These will only be standard extremes only, and these will be based upon charts rather than the songs themselves, but some will vary based upon how the chart plays out. I will also be giving my thoughts on each one to explain why do I think they're the most superior. And of course, this is my opinion. If you think this chart does not deserve to be on the list, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you might think so, that's perfectly fine. Not a lot of people will love the same extremes as I do. As for honorable mentions, there were a lot of extremes to choose from. I could have made a top 20 best extremes list from all the extremes in this game, but I narrowed down to 6 of my other favorites that could have made the top 10 if I wanted to. These are labeled down to Tornado Souls, Encompass, Italian Concerto, Rockstar, Sash Boogie, and We Live Forever. All of them are really fun extremes, either with difficulty spikes, nice balancing, really fun speed, or overall having really amazing gimmicks in there. Heck, I would actually put Italian Concerto at number 11 on this list. And all of these extremes are all graded as an A+. Really love playing all of these extremes, really worth my time. Starting at number 10, we have Party Hard by Andrew WK. Out of all introduction extremes, Party Hard stands out for the best reasons. This one's more of a density test with all the swipes, but it knows how to have a lot of fun with it. The melody and upbeat tone of the rock song really hits bullseyes when this whole entire double gimmick becomes repetitive, because with that, it's going to lower your end by switching back and forth and leading you into what happens next. There's a lot of fun patterns that happens over here with charting the guitar riff, vocals, and even the ending where they start charting more doubles. Really fun for helping new players, and really fun ride for pro players trying to do more swipe gimmicks. Number 9 goes to Ridin' by Chameleon featuring Crazy Bone. This is one of my favorite mementos of any Tour Pass song, because this was the first Tour Pass extreme I've ever gotten. For a popular 2000 songs, this extreme chart was a really fun ride. The use and gimmick of charting all hip-hop lyrical charting really hits bullseyes when trying to find out new tricks and density, and the flow on this chart is amazing. Once Crazy Bone's verse is hit, it really shows how much they really want you to have a lot of fun here, and Chameleon's verses by the beginning is really fun to actually take notice of. Really fun, and definitely one of my favorite hip-hop songs and charts in the entire game. Number 8 goes to Gimme Chocolate by Baby Metal. This is by far my favorite Journey extreme. Well, used to be Journey extreme for whatever reason they changed. I do think rock extremes do deserve to go all out with these patterns, and this one did it perfectly. There's a lot of really good different diversity patterns here that will actually lead you to what you need to do next. Stairs, micros, swipes, holds, everything's in this book here. While definitely not as hard as a lot of players remember it to be, the different move sets and patterns here really make this chart so much fun to play, and it really serves for a greatly high moderate challenge here if you want to take on more challenging extremes here. It is a really fun chart and definitely deserves all the praise it gotten. Number 7 goes to Rainbow Raid Parade by Chime. This by far is my favorite Monster Cat extreme out of all of them. If you want an extreme that pays homage to other great EDM extremes, this is the extreme for you. This chart is very fast and has a really nice flow behind the EDM instrumentals, and the patterns here play like a celebratory parade for other EDM extremes like Rockstar and Encompass. It also helps too that the escalation here is fantastic. It's a fast extreme, and you need to be ready for any patterns that come your way. Some patterns may be out of focus here, but they really do serve for how much fun you're gonna have here. Really amazing dance extreme, but it's not my favorite dance extreme. We will get to that. Number 6 goes to Duality by Slipknot. Pretty sure a lot of players remember this one. For tougher extremes, Duality packs a huge punch, just stacks, spams, and unexpected tricks. And it was the first ever extreme in a deluxe variant Tour Pass, so basically they needed to make sure the standards stand out in any way, shape, or form, and they definitely did it in the best way possible. These patterns here are very plentiful and will actually throw you off if you're not careful. Unlike Slumber, this extreme throws everything at you to throw you off, and it pulls it off with very slow scroll speed, which is an amazing feat to do. That's something that Slumber couldn't be able to do, and it shows. Definitely an amazing tough extreme here that does challenge your notion if you really are ready to take on these extremes head first. Number 5 is Swamp Thing by The Grid. After much thinking it over, Swamp Thing really exceeded my expectations for any standard dance extreme. As being the standard extreme with the highest note count, this one really surprised me how much patterns it threw in here. The first 4 stages are pretty challenging enough, but the final stage is a brutal, crazy stair fest that you need to be very prepared for. Very fast and gets a lot of traction of fun into it, unlike No One Knows. This is definitely the best dance standard extreme in my opinion here, and it's definitely worth a really major challenge for pro players, so you should go get it if you need to. So thankfully it's not on Journey Ring 4 anymore. I'm sorry. Number 4 goes to the Possibilities Enclosure by the Arbitrary. This was the biggest surprise for this being in the alternative genre. While we got Heart's Frequencies and such Boogie, this one definitely here's the best charted one in the alternative genre. There are a lot of brutal patterns here, and each stage is going to give you a very fun challenge. Spiraling stairs, micromanias, and intense spams. All of them work so perfectly within the speed range, and the swipes here are really nicely placed. It really works for a really fun, progressively harder extreme to get nearing, and definitely my favorite extreme in the alternative genre. Definitely serves as being its own version of the Trooper for the alternative genres linked. Number 3 obviously goes to Godzilla by Eminem featuring Juice WRLD, and this should be no surprise to anyone. This is the hip-hop magnum opus of tough patterns of final stage. The extreme knows what players wanted for this iconic rap song. Basically a lot of energy, lyrical power, and an amazing final stage. This final stage right here is definitely one of the best final stages I've ever seen in any Beatstar extreme. The escalation for this chart is perfect. It's all worth getting for. The hype is definitely worth it, because even discarding the final stage, the rest of the patterns in the first 4 stages is definitely really fun to play. Definitely worth your time, and definitely one of the best extremes I've ever played. Number 2 goes to the Trooper by the Iron Maiden, and you'd be surprised too that this is number 2. This is the first Torpass extreme that really challenges the difficulty for an extreme, the reformed king of the extremes if you will. This chart didn't half-ass anything, and it had a lot of numerous tough patterns in it, and it really feels like a real adventure mashup here of all the recent extremes we got in here for Journey and Torpass, at least up to Season 4. It really starts to give all the patterns a really good light and giving so much fun to the player here and giving it a big ultimate challenge. By the end, when you DP it, you are the real Trooper for taking it on. Definitely one of the best rock extremes I've ever played here, and definitely really fun and always a memory for me in any tour pass. And number 1 for me goes to the Motherlode by Mastodon. You'd be surprised why this one took over the Trooper as my number 1 favorite extreme. Well, this chart here has the best escalation I've ever seen in charting of an extreme. While it's a bit easier than the Trooper, it makes up with the intense energy by the end. There's a lot of creative charting and really amazing energy to be put into the solo. Really wraps up the entire extreme by giving it up a magnum opus here, what to expect here. And believe it or not, the Deluxe did it a lot better as well here, and it did it perfectly well with the escalation point of this extreme, giving the players what they wanted, even helping players notice how much fun they're going to have in this beautiful chart. And it looks like we reached the end of the video. Do you all agree with this list? Obviously, all these choices are not going to correspond here with every single player in Beatstar, but if you can think of any standard extremes that's your all-time favorite charts, let me know in the comments below. And before we wrap up, thank you all so much for 100 subscribers. I never expected we got this far on this channel. What started off as just another person trying to do Beatstar content slowly transformed into doing my own thing, and I really have adapted to a lot of amazing things of video quality, editing, and a lot of amazing things playing Beatstar. Thank you all so much for sticking around and being sure to always give me a fun time to look forward. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and again, I really enjoyed all this time making all these Beatstar content. And with that said, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.